Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you all had a great week. I hope you had the best week of your life. I honestly do. I hope it was just a wonderful week, getting ready for a great weekend. Here in Nebraska, we're going from terribly hot weather to terribly cold weather. We're in the few weeks where we actually have pretty nice weather. So, enjoying that quite a bit. Got a friend on today, Crypto Sensei, aka Rob. We're going to be talking about in particular, he does a lot better job than I do about going and researching specifically the crypto world. Okay, he spends a lot of time researching. When I want to know, hey, what's new with XRP? Hey, what's new with Ethereum? What's new? And I want to talk about some of the stuff going on with these altcoins here in a little bit. But I go to Robert because he's the man who puts in a lot of work to make it happen. So shout out to him. Audience, as we're going, please hit like. And if you have questions, things you want to talk about, we can go as short or as long as people want to. So, whatever we're feeling, wherever the wind takes us,
We're
we
here
will.
for you. We're
Yeah,
here for you.
exactly. We are here for you. Robert, you've been on the channel lots of times, but let's do quick introduction and then we'll jump into some questions for you. But quick introduction first.
All right, so my real name, my real life name on my passport is Robert Doyle. I go by Crypto Sensei. It was given to me by my community in Crypton Aires a couple years ago. I spend all of my time when I am not sleeping researching crypto. I couldn't do any of this without my great community and my team over at Crypton Aires. They are the ones who put in a lot of time themselves, and it really is a community effort there. And I got this great YouTube community now that's been building up, and I'm very thankful to them. I spent a lot of time speaking with them in the comments and that kind of stuff. And I eat, sleep, and bleed crypto. That is all I do. I try to look at what's coming as far as the economy's going with banks and ISO and the global landscape is something that I used to not consider or care about, and now you kind of have to because it all plays into one. And we're building up to a very exciting time right now in the crypto market. We're about to get into a bull run that is going to just look. I personally believe that this next bull run will be on the low end, like 6 to 8 trillion. On the high end, maybe even like 10, 12 trillion.
Whew.
So it's very exciting where we're going with tokenization of assets and just we're going to talk about some node projects. We'll talk about the masterclass. There's several things that are kind of going on in the background that I can kind of help people that need, maybe that are new to crypto, or maybe they've been into crypto a while but maybe don't yet know how to properly research a crypto project. So we'll be talking a little bit about that, and that's kind of who I am, and a little bit about my background.
Love it. Well, and I love that you have an itinerary because I do not. So I love that you are at least semi prepared for this time. So that's amazing. A
Oh,
couple questions that I have. Again, audience, if you want to hijack from just my silly questions, feel free. Okay. We're here for you. I can talk
oh,
to Robert anytime. Let's just get to the heart of the issue. Okay. Bull run's potentially coming,
yep,
potentially a big bull run,
yep.
potentially like when you say 6 trillion, you don't mean the price of Bitcoin, by the way. That's the market cap of crypto, I'm guessing, is what you're referencing there.
Yep.
So we're currently at are we at a 1.5
I think we're like
trillion market cap right now?
I think let me just get some real information, and that way we're not just guessing here.
Yeah,
And
1.41. I got it up here.
thank you. So yeah, we've seen about, what is it, 300 million, excuse me, $300 billion kind of enter back into the market over the past couple weeks, and that's really what you're seeing right now, as far as excitement building around these spot Bitcoin ETFs that are rumored to be coming. It does look like the SEC's kind of giving in to this type of stuff. And so people are responding, and you usually kind of get an October, November type of pump anyways in the crypto market. So we've been doing a lot of accumulating the last couple years, and some alts are running. Bitcoin's been up nicely, and people are taking profits. People are happy, and when people are happy, I'm happy, right? So
Yep.
uh, yeah, and it's I don't quite think we're like fully in just like neck break bull market. I think we're going to have a little bit of a pullback. Honestly, I think we are still kind of waiting for these ETFs to come into play, and we don't yet know what the demand is going to be for those ETFs. You saw some Ethereum kind of things launch last month or the month before, and those didn't do as well as people thought they were going to.
Hmm.
You do have this new if you're not following this on crypto Twitter, there's a person named Steven Narioff, and he was kind of the voice and the person that built Ethereum's ICO. And he's got documents and different things that he wants to kind of release and get out that might not shine a great light on Ethereum and Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Lubin. And so I've been watching the last couple of days on Twitter where he's been talking about this, and he said in the next couple of days he's going to release some of this stuff. And I'm wondering, I'm worried that if that's kind of damning stuff, it could affect Ethereum and cryptocurrencies that have to do with Ethereum. So I'm watching that very closely, and I think everybody else should too. I prefer nothing bad to happen to the crypto market, right? We haven't had a huge black swan event this year in 2023, unlike 2022 where we had like several. So, I'm always kind of on the edge waiting for something to drop. I do think there's a few narratives that we should be paying attention to. One of them is that Ethereum narrative. Of course, one is the BlackRock narrative. And crypto and AI gaming, those projects are going to be doing really well over the next, 1 to 2 years. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some good questions and discussions from the audience. So I want to just kind of answer the question that is the title of this video, though. So if you're right now, okay, and you haven't done a great job preparing for the bull run yet, but you're right now, what would you be doing if you were just starting right now and you're like, oh no, the bull run's coming, I don't want to miss out on that? What should you do? Just buy Bitcoin, just buy Ethereum, buy XRP, or what would you be doing?
So these are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. These are major cryptocurrencies with multi-billion-dollar market caps. It's going to take a lot of money to go into those to really kind of double, triple your money. I see Bitcoin in the next market going maybe to 150K. And so we're at maybe 30, 36, 37,000 right now. So you're looking at a 4 or 5x with Bitcoin realistically. That's maybe on the high end. It could go higher, but it might go a little bit lower. But I think it's kind of be right in that range if you kind of look at past markets. Ethereum, you're probably going to see an 8 or 9,000, $10,000 Ethereum, especially when more spot ETFs can get approved for Ethereum. XRP, I think people that own XRP are they want a high price now, but they can see the use case that is being built around XRP. And when we're talking about use cases, we're talking about who's actually going to use this technology to process real-time payments, right? And you're looking at Ripple, the company, who is working with 30 plus central banks. And that's very powerful because if you look out across the entire crypto market, you don't hear any other crypto project or a blockchain infrastructure project working with that many central banks. So you do have to take notice of that, right? Because that's powerful. Because what happens with countries and banks is a lot of payments get cleared through central banks. And so if the central bank of a country is built on a private ledger of the XRP ledger, that means all of those payments will be going through some type of, using XRP and on that private ledger. And so that is why I'm long-term bullish on XRP. I wish I had the crystal ball to tell everybody when that is going to explode. But when you're looking at those really high cap cryptos, I don't feel like there's going to be as much growth in those as maybe like AI and crypto, because that's really the hot button right now. Decentralized finance is really big. And so you're going to see some of these tokens do, 30, 40, 50 X's in this next run. And so I'm focusing a lot of my extra capital into certain projects like your Gala Games. And I put a list of about 18 or 19 of them that the team worked on inside of Crypton Aire. We posted them. And I went through about 4 or 5 of them in my last Sensei chat. But I can bring a couple up if you want to talk about it. But yeah, if you Scary, to get back to your point, if you want to prepare for the next bull run, you need to do it kind of now, right? Because you've already missed some crazy rallies if you haven't been prepared, right? And the best way to do that is I've created a masterclass where I've made a lot of mistakes in crypto and I've learned a lot of things from a lot of people in crypto. And I've kind of put everything together in a 45 to an hour course that goes over like researching the team, the white paper, how to research the crypto project, what tools to use that are free to use, how I protect myself online with certain VPNs, things like that. Just a quick course on how to protect yourself. That is being edited right now by Cass, and that should be out maybe in a week or two. But you can sign up right now to get the course absolutely free. It's just my way of trying to help you learn in the space. You want me to post that link, or do you have the link, James?
It's the cryptonaires.cc card one, right? Or car card.
Yeah,
Yep, I posted
you
that.
just need an email and a fake name or a real name, whatever you want to put in there. Doesn't matter. But as soon as the course is live, we're going to go ahead and send that out. And we also send out a newsletter, kind of what's going on in the crypto market. Also, we're putting together another list for the newsletter of maybe 10 or 12 different crypto and AI projects that we're going to be mailing out here in the next week or two as well. So those are some projects that we have a keen eye on for the next really big run here in the crypto market.
Okay, love that. One more question from me personally, and then we'll get to all the audience got all these great questions. So we'll start bringing some of those up. How do you think through one thing I've been worried about as we've seen Bitcoin already pump and things have already been pumping? How do you take profits in a bull run when things are on their way up and it's like, oh, we could see we could go back down. Should I sell my Bitcoin at 35 and then get in, or what if we go up to 60 tomorrow? How do you kind of think through that?
So there should always be a plan anytime. I mean, we're obviously not investment advisors. We're just people that love the space, and we participate in the space, and we try to help people and guide people with the knowledge that we have. But we don't have any fancy degrees behind us to say that we're financial advisors. But as a friend talking to you, as somebody that's been in the space for a while, that has seen up and downs in the crypto market, I always say have a plan for any project that you're in. I have certain projects that if they're up 100%, I'm taking half off. I'm taking half out. There's a dip, I'm buying back. No crypto project is ever just going to keep going straight up. You're always going to get a retracement. It's going to come back down. You have a build time with crypto projects, especially if it's a new crypto project. But yeah. You need to have a plan with that Bitcoin. Obviously, it's nice to take some profits off the board. And if we do dip down, you can buy back in. And hey, if Bitcoin doesn't dip back down and just keeps going up, maybe you allocate that capital to some other projects that, might do a larger size than a 3 or 4x. Because, buying one Bitcoin for 37 grand and having a 3 or 4x, that might not put you in a place where, you can retire off of that. But if you took that 37 grand and you put it into a range of crypto and AI gaming projects that do a 50x or 100x, now you're talking about some serious money that you could put away and live on for quite some time. So, that's what I would say. Just always have a plan to take profits. I've watched things personally go up and down, and I'm like, man, that's going to keep going up. That was my mindset back in 2021 in early 2022, and we crashed pretty hard, and I had to learn and adjust on that go, just like a lot of us did. And I took a lot of scars away because I could have sold things that were a lot higher at the time, and I just held on to some of the stuff. Right, I was in too many things at the same time. But I haven't made that same mistake this time. And so I've been taking profits. I put the profits into some other projects that have come out, and you balance that way up, and you build your base, and you build your battle chests, or your war chests is what we call it.
Okay, love it. Yeah, and I kind of take a dollar. So I'm terrible at timing markets or looking at markets. I always guess wrong. So I've been taking a dollar cost average in and a dollar cost average out. So as things are, kind of low, I'm dollar cost averaging in. Okay, I'm going to accumulate. Then as things start going up, I kind of I don't look at the price. This is how I do it. Okay, this is again not financial advice. There's probably, learning a little bit of TA and exiting and entering that way would probably be smarter, but I don't have the time for that, and I don't want to do that. So I just on the way up, I will probably just sell little bits. I'll just say on this day, I'm going to sell a little bit. And it might not be the best strategy, but it works for me. And that's what I'm going to do. So, anyways.
And TAs are really like, our community, Crypton Aires, has partnered with Carolina Keith's TA Discord and TA community because I needed a place where I could send my community to learn about TA. I'm not very strong in TA, and I could definitely not teach TA, and so I felt like that was a piece of the puzzle that was missing for our community. And so what I went out and I partnered with Keith, and so any Crypton Aires member that pays for membership through Crypton Aires gets a free membership with his Discord. So we have our community that's posting all this great information about projects that, I mean, if you would have just following projects that we've posted in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, you're talking 3, 4, 5,000% that you would be up if you just got into some of these projects and sold at the highs. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how good of a job that the community and the team have been doing about posting this stuff. And then now you have the TA aspect where we can send people into his Discord, learn about TA, and really sharpen their skills. And that's really what's preparing these people for the next market. That's why there's been so many amazing wins in the Crypton Aires community. And I try to post some of this stuff and get the attention of some people. But it's all about when your time is ready to take this next step into working with a community, because you know how exhausting this ecosystem can be, James, to just do all of this yourself, right? It's a lot of work. But when you have a really great group of people that all kind of come together, that's really where you can do a whole lot more with a whole lot less time.
Yep, absolutely, totally agree. And let's, I know, audience, we will get to your questions. Okay, these are great, but let's talk about Crypton Aires real quickly. Do you just want to tell kind of what Crypton Aires is, what you guys offer, and talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll continue on with audience questions.
Great. So Crypton Aires is a community we built back in early 2021. This kind of it got birth from, we had like a group me session, a group me community, and group me really wasn't a place where we could post in a lot of different channels and keep the information in front of people. So we got with a couple people and a team. We built the Crypton Aires Discord. And at the height of the last bull market, we had about 18 or 1900 subscribers at the time. Now we have several hundred. We've kind of cut back as people left the market, but we provide a lot of information, more information than you can kind of go through on a day-to-day basis. You have the team, which is about 8 or 9 people that pull information, crypto news, the latest crypto news from all across the crypto space. I'm, of course, doing Sensei chats and pulling information in. We have a couple different people that are just researching crypto projects and posting different calls and different things that we're doing. I'll give you an example. On October 2nd, a team of ours, Rayon DeFi is his name, he posted a project called Perps. Perps did 156% return in like 30 days after posting it, and he's been working on a few other posts. And so we're just trying to provide value for customers. We're trying to direct them to crypto, AI, gaming, pretty much any kind of crypto project that we see has a future. We bring projects in for AMAs when we're asked. We help customers and people with whitelist spots. If they want a whitelist spot for something, we'll reach out and try to get that done. And it really is just a community that all works together. And we also have that TA aspect, like I said, with Keith. So we have kind of everything in one place for you. So you don't have to like go out and search YouTube, search Twitter, search all these different platforms. It's all put in one place. So it's easily digestible for you. You can have some fun and get into some things with us. And we post trades, we post all kinds of things that we're doing in the space, and node projects, passive income. We'll probably touch on that a little bit, but I'm a very big passive income person, and I have about $1 million node portfolio right now, and I'm excited to see what that'll bring in the next 2 years. Yeah, man, that's basically what the community is. Just a great place to post all this information.
Awesome, love it. So, and link in the description if you want to join that. Post in the comments also. All right, let's get to some audience questions here. And again, keep them coming, guys. We'll get through as many of these as we can. Let's see. Funny Turo, too bad bull run in crypto can't solve the inflation problem the U.S. government is having. True. Very true.
I mean, that's what a great reset is, right? That's the discussion. I see facts over feelings. XRP Maxi. That's cool, man. You got to like something. I think XRP has more of a utility than Bitcoin or Ethereum any day of the week. So, how many central banks are using Ethereum, or how many banks can use public Ethereum right now? None, right? Because where are those gas fees going? So, I mean, I focus my money on real world adoption and use cases and tokenization of assets. So that's my bet, my friend.
Well, and to be fair, like a maxi is someone who says nothing else is good. Robert just said he had $1 million node portfolio that is not XRP. I would guess you have more not XRP than you do XRP.
True.
Okay,
True.
so
Yeah.
so I think objectively not an XRP maxi, just an XRP fan. But he doesn't believe it's the only one. He's not saying there's some people who think, and there are XRP maxis who think XRP is the only thing in crypto that is valuable and useful. Some people think Bitcoin is the only thing in crypto that's useful or valuable. Those are maxis. We have drip maxis. Some people think drip is the only thing in crypto that's valuable. Fewer of those these days, but
Is that still going? Drip? Is it still a thing?
let's not talk. Let's not talk. I shouldn't have even brought it up. I don't know why I did.
I think XDC is. I mean, I've been talking about XDC since 2021. And I mean, if you got into XDC, right in that period, I mean, obviously you don't know what you know now about XDC, but I think that might perform better than an XRP will, unless. See, XRP is going to do great once these central banks kind of are working and get all that up. But that's really not going to happen for a couple more years. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that's the reality, right? You're still seeing testing done, and testing is not the final product, right? And so it's going to be some time. So if you look at an asset like XDC, I think XDC has a very great road in front of it. It doesn't have a multi-billion-dollar market cap yet. I think it's still under $1 billion. So I think there's a lot of growth for the XDC chain. And when you're talking about digitizing trade documents and how much money is in TradeFi, I think that's going to do really well. Of course, you have your XLMs, your XRPs, and stuff like that. But I think really the gains are going to be in your AI and your crypto gaming projects. I think those are really going to be 50, 100 X's on some of these projects coming up. And that's really what I'm focused on in this next bull run.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Audience questions. Dane, when you say bull run, is the assumption the new crypto highs will exceed those from the last bull run?
Yep.
Yes. So we hit a total of about 3.2 trillion market cap last bull run. And so, yeah, most people are expecting, especially if these ETFs go through. I mean, we could see 15 million is possible. Most of that will go into Bitcoin. So what I'm not sure of is how much of this bull run will be Bitcoin dominance going up, or if Bitcoin's going to go up and altcoins are going to go up like they usually do if following Bitcoin, or is the ETFs going to be more of like just a Bitcoin specific thing and we see Bitcoin dominance go up to 90% or something like that. That's what I'm not sure of. Do you have thoughts on that?
I think that's the way that you laid that out is a very real concern. I think what you're going to find is that you're going to get a total. You already have all of these people that have been in crypto, that used to be in crypto, that are going to come back when the markets kind of start heating up again, right? And you're going to have these new customers that are going to be able to buy these ETFs and get access to Bitcoin without having to hold keys and actually holding the Bitcoin, right? And so I think what you're going to be able to do is create a new market for a new wave of people that are going to be coming into the crypto space that are like, wow, I made 100% gain on my Bitcoin. Maybe there's something else out here that I should be buying, right? And you're going to get these Ethereum ETFs, you're going to get XRP ETFs, and you're probably going to get like Kadena ETFs. You're going to get all kinds of different ETFs here over the next couple of years too, and that's going to help fuel the market. But yeah, you are going to see a large part of that in Bitcoin, but as people take profits in Bitcoin, it usually goes into the altcoins, right? So, I think both markets are going to pump really well. It's going to be interesting to see what Bitcoin's dominance is. You made a very good point about that, and I think the whole market's going to do well, man. I really do. I think, yeah, we had a high of just over 3 trillion. This time we should be going anywhere from 8 to 12, maybe a high of 13 or 14, but that would be like crazy pushing in. I think the bull run will probably go into 2026, but probably starting in 2024 sometime. I think the U.S. economy, I don't think nobody has any clue what's going to happen with the U.S. economy, right? You have some economists saying recession, some saying soft landing. Banks are taking a beating still, right? I do think there's going to be more bank failures. Usually when the Fed pivots and it starts lowering rates, that's when something's broken. And that's usually when you see a market crash in the stock market. So it's going to be interesting. It feels like the crypto market's already kind of decoupling from the stock market,
Hmm.
which both of those were very core aligned for a long time. And so it's going to be interesting to see if the stock market kind of goes into this kind of big dip, if some of those people decide to come over into the crypto market and ride this wave up, because it's going to be a hell of a wave, right? You're going to have institutions. I mean, 2023 was a really big building year for institutions in custody, because institutions can buy crypto, but they need a place to custody it, right? And so you've saw a lot of acquisitions, like Ripple bought Medico, and Medico is a great asset custodian for institutional clients. And so you have all of these banks that are going to be getting into crypto as well. And so I do think you're going to see this huge uptick in how much money is actually going to be coming into the market in 2024, into 2025, and into 2026.
Okay, very good. You heard it here first, guys. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on when the Bitcoin ETFs will arrive? Yeah, I'll let you. What do you think,
Okay.
Rob?
Do you have an opinion, or
I just read on crypto coinmarketcap.com, Whale Watcher tweeted they think January is when BlackRock said they think it's coming through. But you know what? I heard October, I heard November, I heard December, I heard January. So I'm just gonna stop trying to guess.
all right. So usually government employees take vacations around Christmas and New Year's. So I would think that any work that they would want to get done that they didn't want to go into next year, they would want to get done before the end of the year. So I think there's a strong chance that that work's either getting done or is kind of done, right? Where the approvals are lined up, they're ready to go out. Obviously, if you approve one like BlackRock, you're going to have to approve the rest of them, right? Or I mean, because you don't want to give one too big of an advantage. So you're going to see probably all of them approved in a very quick time frame. And so I think it could happen before the end of the year. Realistically, it just depends on how favorable Gary Gensler wants to be. A lot of people think that the Ripple and the SEC thing is done. It's not done. I've watched Brad Garlinghouse talk about this in the last 2 or 3 days. One at DC FinTech Week and one at Swell, where he's said that they're still kind of negotiating with the SEC. So I think the SEC's got a lot of pressure on them from Congress, from everyday Americans, and from other attorneys, and they can't really hire good people right now. So I think they're kind of going to need to switch this regulation by enforcement. And I think that really does start to turn around in 2024 as the US starts to develop and needs a CBDC, right? You're going to see stablecoin legislation, and that will happen for that. Wholesale CBDC will happen first, then a retail CBDC. But all of that stuff is kind of in the background right now, and we're waiting for all it to happen. But I'm hoping it'll happen in the next. I mean, Bloomberg analysts say they give a 90% chance that it would happen before the end of the year. So we'll have to see how Bloomberg, what if they're correct or not.
Yep, we will see. And then are the ETFs a bull run trigger? And I think a combination of dollar problems, ETFs, and the halving together create the perfect storm of what exactly. And I don't know. Maybe you can answer this too, Rob. Do you see the bull run as like one day switch on straight up, or do you kind of maybe we're already in the bull run a little bit? I mean, we're up to 35. What do you think?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Because we're nowhere near or close to what we used to be. I think we've had just a ton of accumulation, and we usually get these kind of end of the year pumps. I think that's kind of what we're in right now. I wouldn't really call it an official bull run yet. Bitcoin, if Bitcoin breaks 45, 50K, then it's really on, right? Then it's like, hey man, we're going in crazy right here. But I think you're getting a lot of speculation right now about the ETFs that are getting approved, and people are front running it, waiting for it. I think there's a lot of demand from your BlackRocks, your Investcos, your Charles Schwabs. I think they understand that a lot of customers want access to this. ETFs are very, very safe. You know, if you start screwing around with an ETF as an institutional, you know, if you start screwing around with like your institutional customers, the SEC will be all over you. I mean, they do very, very rigorous reporting on that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think that once we see the demand, right? Because right now you have all of these companies that have applied for it, but it doesn't really correlate to demand yet, right? And so what you've seen the last, you know, 6 weeks is just people kind of getting very excited that this is coming, and they're trying to get into positions to that if it does come, then they're headed to, you know, where they think is the moon or whatever it is, right? So I think what you're seeing right now is positioning. I think you're seeing money come back into the market, but I don't quite think we've kind of gotten to a point where I'm like, hey man, where the bull market's here again. You know, if Bitcoin kind of rallies, I think we'll get there.
Okay, gotcha. Have you done much research into Kadena specifically? I have. Robert, what have you looked into Kadena yet?
Not as much as you, James. Why don't you break it down, brother?
Okay. So unfortunately, Kaspa, I have 3 big Kadena miners that I spent a lot of money on. Okay. So KDA holds a special place in my heart. I hold a lot of Kadena. I'm in like the top 200 holders of Kadena. Unfortunately, Kaspa has come along, who is doing almost the same as what Kadena is doing, and Kaspa seems to be winning at this moment. So I do not know what that means for the future. Sometimes, too, one thing I'm learning about crypto, although this is business in general, sometimes it's not about who has the best technology. Sometimes it's just a marketing thing. Sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time. Like there's advantage to starting right now, like Kaspa did, opposed to starting 5 years ago and then jumping up to $30 and then going down to 30 cents. That turns a lot of people off. There's a lot of people who say, I'm never touching Kadena again because it went from $30 to 30 cents. Like, why would I get into that? Whereas Kaspa wasn't around for that. So they have an advantage of their chart just looks good. So Kaspa, it seems like is going to be taken over, but that's my take.
Kaspa's at 9 cents right now. You know what's crazy? We've been talking about and posting about Kaspa and Crypton Aires since November of 2022. And so if you would have gotten a decent sizable bag, and during that time, I mean, I don't even know how much you'd be up over, maybe about 2,000% on your Kaspa holdings if you were inside Crypton Aires.
Yep. In the last year. Yeah. Kaspa's been blowing up. And, you know, every time I look at Kaspa, which maybe you guys in the audience, who in the audience can relate to this, but I've looked at them many times. I looked at them about here back in April, and I was like, oh man, they're up 400%. Like I probably missed them. I mean, there's no way. And then they kind of crashed a bit, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I didn't get into Kaspa. And then I kind of forgot about them. Then when they were back up here, I was like, oh, I forgot about Kaspa, but they're probably done. Then they crashed, and I was like, oh. And you'd think I would learn, hey, just get into Kaspa. But I didn't. And then now I'm at the same point right now where it's like, it's too high now. Like I can't get in at 9 cents. But who knows what's going to happen. So, I mean, it's just tough.
We'll be having a conversation in 2 months. It'll be at like 25 cents. We'll be like, damn it, James, we should have gotten a Kaspa at 9 cents.
I know that's totally what's going to happen. But if I get in, it'll probably go down. So I'm not a chart chaser anymore. I used to be, but now I don't. A good chart does not make me get in. A bad chart does not make me not get in. So
pull up Tau. James, pull up Tau on your.
I'll pull up Tau. Okay, yeah. MVP was asking about Tau. So while I have the chart up here, let's do it. Bittensor, right?
Yeah.
Bittensor.
And look at the price around August of 2022, because that's when we started talking about it in the community.
August of 22. Oh, I have to go out. Yeah. This one's a little bit older one.
Oh, it's probably not going to have even that price because it got listed. What's it called? We talked about Tau in Sensei Chat 2 or 3 weeks ago before this enormous pump. And I showed people that the Google searches for Tau had just gone up enormously. And actually, if you would have gotten to Tau right there, you'd have made a nice 40 or 50%.
Absolutely. Yep. Tau is and do you know what Tau is doing exactly? I hear about them a lot, but I know it's AI related, but I don't really know what they're doing.
It's like it's like an AI marketplace for different models and things like that. I'm not a Tau expert. I'm actually not in Tau, to be just truthful with you. Pull up the website on your thing. Click on the website, bottom left, official links, and then pull the website. I can't remember exactly what's on here. Uh, or
It's
not.
not. It's not working.
It's
Wait,
not
wait.
denied.
There it
No.
is.
There you go. There you go. There's just two websites there. I think it's a
Oh, that's
marketplace.
cool.
Yeah, they have a pretty dope website. White paper. Just click on the white paper or
See,
about.
this is a cool website, but at the same time, it also tells you nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then there you go. Abstract or introduction.
Hmm.
It's yeah, it's AI models and different
Here,
things.
this is
Intelligence.
a better. This is a better way to learn. What is Tau Bittensor? There you go. It sums it all up for you. Chat
True.
GPT is your friend, guys.
GPT is
Do that.
awesome.
But yeah, you look into that. I'll look into that a little bit more. I do really love AI. One concern I have about AI though is what's happening a lot is all these startups are popping up doing this, and that. Then the big players, Google, OpenAI, Bing, they start their own that basically swallows up all those startups. There's all these startups that were trying to do all this, and then all of a sudden, oh, now Chat GPT generates images. Well, now we have all these AI image generators who are basically like, I guess we're going out of business because the big player does it. And I worry about that with some of these people getting into AI, is that the big players are going to kind of swallow them up, but who knows?
No, that you're absolutely right, James. And you know, I think that's a situation that you know, I do feel like AI right now can be a very decentralized place, but if people like Meta come in and they buy up, you know, all these different companies and put it under the one umbrella, you know, I think we have to watch out about that. I know AI takes a lot of data centers and there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built out to really take advantage of all the aspects that AI can offer. But I do think for the general purpose, it's going to help, you know, humankind and the advancements of medicines and different things. But it's also can be used for bad too, right? So there's a balance, and I think there should be. I think the Biden administration is kind of addressing some different laws around the use of AIs and some different things too. So. I think it's going to be pretty cool, man. And I think there's going to be a lot of good crypto projects that are going to ride the AI hype and that wave. And there's going to be a lot of money to be made in the AI ecosystem, especially in the crypto ecosystem.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get back to these audience questions. 2023 was a terrible year in crypto. So many scams and Ponzi's folding. Yes, but that cleans out the space. You know, we have to have a cleaner space. We have to have kind of smarter investors that are getting in who know what to look for and things like that. So, you know, in some ways it's inevitable. We had, you know, similar thing with the .com bubble, right? Is all this stuff starts up, and 95% of it is scams and overhyped stuff. And then there's the 5% that continues on, and we end up with Amazon, Google, you know, and all these big players that actually end up changing the world. But you have to kind of go through kind of a discovery. We're going through with AI too, where the 95% of what's there right now will not be there in 5 years. But there's going to be some big players who end up kind of changing the world. So that's my take on that.
You're absolutely right, James. And you need to be careful too about that. But a lot of people don't understand that. You know, 90 something percent of the crypto market, there's really not a use case for a lot of these projects where you have 10,000, 20,000, you know, 30,000 crypto projects. How many real world use cases are actually in those projects, right? And so I think that's what people need to understand is we're still in a full speculation market. All we're doing is speculating on, is this going to have value in the future? And I think people get lost in that. And I think, you know, that's why, you know, when somebody kind of talks smack about like XRP or you know, or XLM or some of these ISO tokens that really haven't done very much over the last, you know, couple years, you know, I'm playing the long game, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, if central banks are testing this at levels unseen across the crypto market, that's probably one of the technologies that's still going to be here in 10 years, right? And so you have to have a different mindset when you're investing into cryptocurrency, because it is all speculation still. We are not yet at a fully regulated, fully, just real market yet. We're all here, we're all talking with each other. We're all like, "Hey, what's going to pump? What's going to do this?" And I think people need to realize that it's all speculation still. And until we get into that real utility, which we're getting into very closely. We're very close to this utility market. But until then, it's speculation, guys. And you need to get in and you need to get out, because if you stick around for a very long time, that project will probably end up failing. There's a lot of failures. Like, how many projects have we seen come and go over the last couple of years, James? Hundreds.
A lot. Oh yeah, thousands.
Yeah, exactly. And if you just held on to those projects, you'd lost all your money. So get in, get out, find another project. It's crypto. There's always another project. Don't ever chase a pump. Play smart, get in, get out, and try to make some money and save money for a bear market. That is the best piece of advice I can give you, because in 2021 I thought the market was never going to come down. I was like, man, this is crazy, this is great. And then I was like, holy shit, there's a big bear market, right? And
Yep.
you just
And
plan accordingly.
well, and some people even now are still in denial, saying, "Oh, we're never hitting another bull market." And people just always assume how
It's
things
crazy.
are going is how they're always going to go. And we've just seen it happen enough times where I just don't think that that's true. So
Yeah.
let's talk about Solana. What's happening with Solana? It's been on a strong incline. Do you have any inside ideas or thoughts about Solana?
I mean, Solana's been on a pump, even though, the FTX, they've been selling just a ton of Solana onto the market, right? And so once, because they got all of the assets and they're trying to sell them to, pay back investors and things like that, right? And so they were selling, I think, like millions and millions of dollars worth of Solana a day into the market, and it was still pumping. So what happens when they run out of Solana to sell? I think Solana, in this next bull market, I mean, you might see like a $500 Solana. I really do think Solana has a lot of juice left to go, and I think that still do a 10x pretty easily over the next couple of years. And I definitely think Solana should be in your portfolio. We were actually talking about Solana when it was like mid 20s a couple weeks ago, before it kind of just pumped. And so Crypton Aire's members made 100 something percent on the latest pump for Solana. We were talking about that in Ultra Bull chat. And so if you just hang out in Ultra Bull chat, you run into a lot. You'll just run into opportunity, and really that's what we try to create in our community.
Okay, love it. Let's see. Isn't leveraging the rising altcoins a more profitable play? Yes. So you'll get bigger gains for sure. So Bitcoin, what tends to happen, Bitcoin does this. Ethereum goes a little bit higher and a little bit lower. Then as you go down the top 100 coins, you start getting these bigger swings until you get to, low market cap coins where they're maybe going up 1,000x. But then you also, a lot of them are going to zero. So you're basically, your risk as you get further away from, you go down the list of top coins, you're going to be more volatile. So there's going to be bigger risk, but potentially bigger reward. So it's kind of just a matter of whether you have a portfolio that's maybe you only want the top 100 coins, or maybe you only want Bitcoin, or maybe, I want a couple, BioFi, for example, which I'd love to talk about them just a little bit. Maybe we get a couple of these really low market cap coins that do have the potential to 1,000x. But yeah, do you want to just talk about maybe how you think about that, the low market cap that are risky versus getting into blue chips?
I don't own any Bitcoin, and I won't own Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's great for the people that believe in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to have a nice 4 or 5x return in this next bull market. But I'm not, it doesn't have a use case outside of a store of value. And I'm really looking for stuff that changes the way that people interact with each other and how value moves around the planet, right? And what does Bitcoin do? 7 seconds, 7 transactions a second. If you have 1 billion people using the Bitcoin network, how expensive and slow do you think that'll be, right? So I just don't think it's a technology for the future. I think it's a great store of value for the people that believe in it. And I think it's going to do really well. But if you look at Bitcoin over the next 10 years and you look at something like XRP or XDC, what do you think will have more value in 10 years? And that's kind of the mindset that I put, in those types of situations. I have some assets that I'm not going to sell no matter kind of what, because I have no idea when the US government's going to say, well, we can never repay back this debt. We're going to have to issue all of this onto a blockchain, and we're going to have to redo our whole financial system, and we're going to end up using X, Y, and Z, right? We know it's either going to be like an XRP or an XLM, because those are the two companies that have been working with the federal government for quite some time, mainly Ripple, right? And so I think the CBDC in Palau is kind of a test for a US CBDC. And I think there's a lot of value in that. So I don't hold Bitcoin. I probably will never hold Bitcoin. I'm looking for more legendary type returns over the next 5 to 10 years. And I think, no matter what people say about, your XRPs, your XLMs, your XTCs, I think those really are going to have a lot of value in the future. Hederas, your Algorands, those are Constellation DAG. I think those are going to be just home run knockouts over the next couple of years. And I think people are really underestimating the value that those have.
Yep. Totally agree. I would agree with you too. I think the best bang for the buck are the non-Bitcoin top 25 coins, probably, because it's going to be really, Bitcoin is the safest. Okay. I mean, this is my opinion. Again, not financial advice. I think Bitcoin is the safest. You have these ETFs. It's like Bitcoin's not going to go away. Okay. It's not going to happen. But there's, like you were saying, there's not a ton of up room. I mean, you might 3x, you might 4x, 5x here over the next 10 years. But when you get to, some of the lower, even like XRP, there's way more room for those to take. And I don't think XRP is going anywhere. So for me, the biggest bang for your buck is like those, 3 through 25 coins where they're fairly safe. They're probably not going anywhere, but there's still a lot of room to go up. So that's my take. But again, you're going to talk to 5 experts and hear 7 different opinions on how you should do it. So
Funny Charles said, don't tell your friend Andy you don't believe in Bitcoin. He's not, he said he doesn't believe in it. He says, he doesn't.
Yeah, well, and I hold a lot of Bitcoin, okay? And I hold a lot in the stock market, okay? I just like to be diversified into everything is my philosophy. So I have a bunch in the stock market, even though I don't believe in the stock market at all, but it's like I'm going to have some exposure to it, the United States stock market, and the same with Bitcoin. I don't want to put all of my eggs into Bitcoin, but I have quite a few Bitcoin, because I do think it's a good place to put your money. I think you're not going to get a 10x, but I'm okay with a 2x or something like that. I think a 2x on Bitcoin in the next 3 years is like a no-brainer, in my opinion. So, but
I think it is. A lot of people can't afford a full Bitcoin, and that's the reason I don't like. Because everyone can talk about Bitcoin till you're blue in the face. Yes, it's the safest. Yes, it's going to have all these ETFs. Yes, it's going to go up. But like, what are the people that have maybe $1,000 or $5,000 to invest? They buy 1/10 of a Bitcoin and it goes a 3x. They make $2,000, right, or whatever it is, right? And that may not do anything for them. But if they find the right project that can do a 100x or a 1,000x, that's really life-changing wealth and life-changing money. And the crypto market is a really great place that you can do that. It does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of research. You can't just kind of throw shit at the wall and hopefully it sticks. You have to just really spend time and understand what you're doing. But yeah, well said, James. I think a company like BioFi, we could talk about that real quick. I think I'm getting very excited. I have a lot of BioFi staked on that website and their D app, and I think 2024 is going to be a great year for BioFi. I think that's a project that could probably do a 50 to 100x pretty easily if certain things happen, right? Because we're at $170,000 market cap right now, I think, or 160, something like that. It's been pumping the last couple of weeks here, 14 days.
Wow, 33% today.
Yeah, so but it doesn't take much to move it. Oh wow, market cap
right.
203K. Okay, So, I mean, this was at 130K like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was telling people I was buying more BioFi and staking it. And so, uh, depending on who you're listening to in the crypto market, there's a lot of stuff that you can gain. But I've got about realistically, I have about 60 million staked right now in the D app. And so I'll make about 12, 13 million from the staking after that year is complete. It's January, February, March, April, May of 2024. And so that's kind of the sweet spot that I'm kind of hoping that we're going to start, producing the phones, start selling the phones, and they're going to use hopefully some of the profits from that to provide liquidity as well as buy back some of the token off the open market. And I think BioFi, you could see BioFi even at a $20 million, $23 million market cap is 100x from here, right? Like it could get silly, right? And I could see BioFi being a billion dollar company in the next 3 to 5 years if certain things happen with sales of the phones. And I was talking to Brian the other day and talking about metaverse training and how I'd love to expand that side of the business for them. But I think they've got some really great technology. They've got a lot of really great partners, and this thing's getting geared up and set up for something special. And I think people should be paying attention to this.
Yep.
What about you?
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. With again, what I've been doing recently is been looking for revenue. Because we've kind of forgotten that in crypto. We've forgotten that, hey, businesses, when I'm doing venture capital deals, I always ask them, where does the revenue come from? And it's all the questions are about revenue. But for some reason, when I came to crypto, I forgot that that's what you do in business. And I rarely asked any of these crypto projects, hey, where does the revenue come from? And so I've started doing that more. And BioFi is one who actually has an answer where they say, oh, hey, the revenue's coming from this, and like they're getting this phone out, and any day now honestly could be launched. In fact, I'm gonna this hasn't been announced anywhere. In fact, let me here, I'm gonna not do it with the screen cut, but should I announce it right now? I'll announce it right now. um give me just a minute here, Robert. Here, I'll give you the next question, then we'll come back to this.
Okay.
Is there a quality crypto that's AI focused? Do you have any others than Tau that you would recommend? Maybe you could talk about that for a minute here.
So Ori Chain is a pretty cool cryptocurrency. Right now you're sitting at about a $54 million market cap. The ticker is ORAI. And just really quickly, I'll just read you some brief stuff from their website. But Ori Chain is an IBC enabled layer 1 to verify multi-dimensional trustworthiness of AI to build Web3 applications with unique AI oracles. I think Ori Chain is a monster, and I think they have a lot of really great partners. That is a project I would keep on your list. There's also Rose Oasis. Let me pull it up on my computer real quick here in the background here. So Rose Oasis right now is up 12% just today. Man, we've been talking about Rose Oasis for quite some time here in Crypton Aire's. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's gone up almost 100%. It's gone up from about 4 cents to almost 8 cents in just the last 3 weeks. That's another project that we've been sharing in the Crypton Aire's community. I really like Render. Render is kind of a different animal. I don't know if it's super AI focused, but it's distributed GPU rendering on the blockchain. I think Render is going to be 30, 50 billion, maybe $100 billion market cap one day here soon. I definitely take a look at Render and what they're doing with Apple. I think Render is really going to be a monster. Damn, I didn't know J.J. Abrams is a founder of Render. I had no idea about that. That's pretty cool. But I think
I like Abrams.
Dude, he's here. Pull this up, James. Let me get this to you. I'll put. I don't think I can share this in live. Let me share it into the private chat. Here, pull that up, and scroll down, and then I'll also give you a list of a few projects here. There's Fetch. There's. I'll give you a little taste of our Crypton Aire stuff here. You can get those projects.
Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Dude, go down. Check this out. Look who's on the team. I had no idea J.J. Abrams was a part of it. Right there you go.
J.J. Abrams. Wow.
So our community's been talking about Render for quite some time. I bought Render maybe a couple weeks ago. and I'm waiting for something massive to happen. So I also shared I shared Gala, of course. A lot of Gala nodes. Vulcan Forged. That's a project I'm kind of interested in. Nakamoto Games. Nakamoto Games has done 100% return since it was posted in the Crypton Aire Discord. There's just been a lot of stuff going on, man. It's hard for me to even keep track of all of this stuff. But
Yeah, and a lot of these I noticed are gaming ones, which crypto gaming has been dead during the bear market. So yeah, I'll be excited to see. Gaming is one of those that brings in a lot of people from outside of crypto. So it'd be really interesting to see how some of these do when we get back to a bull market.
Big Time's kind of cool. They're building out a whole gaming ecosystem listed on Coinbase. Injective was look it's $18. It was posted in Crypton Aires a long time ago at $1. So this is I think this went up to it's at 1807 now. So that's done 1800% return since it was posted in our community. I mean, man, if you just take 5-10 grand and pick a few projects that are posted in our community and you ride those up, you're going to do really well in the next bull market. Render's a
Okay.
monster. People are selling because of Solana migration and putting money into Render's going to be Render. I mean, Render's already been a monster, but it's going to be a even bigger monster.
Awesome. Hey, I'll announce this here. We're going to do a full video on this next week, but so BioFi is raising some funds to actually start selling the phone. So the phone is pretty much ready to go and ready to start selling. Now they just need to produce them. And so we're doing an NFT mint to kind of start getting some money to get those shipped. And then how we're doing it, we'll talk more about this next week. So actually, I'm not going to go through it, but I'll leave a link for you guys. You can take a look at this, and I'm going to do a full AMA with Brian next week, and I'll get a full video out talking about this. We're going to do kind of a revenue share based on how many phones are sold. So there's potential for you to make a lot. If we're able to sell as many phones as like Brian thinks we're going to be able to sell, there's potential to make a lot of money from this. But I'll just leave a link for now, a little teaser for next week, what you might see. So excited about that.
We need to get before we can start taking customer orders and start really producing the phones. We do need to get through ICASA. There will be some announcements probably next week or the following week about CE testing and an update how that's going. But once CE testing is complete, we get the report, we go through ICASA. That's kind of testing all the Google stuff and the apps and things like that. Once we get through that, then it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. And so I do think we're looking. When I say we, I'm kind of talking as in I'm a help. I help the BioFi project with partnerships and all kinds of stuff. I don't know where I find that all the time, but when I say we, I'm talking about like as if I'm working with BioFi. And so Brian is heading to South Africa on Saturday to attend the conference in Africa and really kind of meet a lot of those people, shake hands, kiss babies, whatever it needs to do. But it's going to be exciting. I think we're going to get all of this stuff done before the end of the year, testing, and then we can start producing the phone, getting into stores Q1 of 2024. And that should be an exciting time for everybody who's holding the token, as well as everybody who's working for the BioFi ecosystem and the company. And I know, James, you put a lot of time in yourself, and you're having all these meetings. I'm having all these meetings, and we're really trying to not just help the community. We're trying to help the company. We're trying to turn it into something special. And I think it can be a multi-billion-dollar company one day, especially if me and you are doing everything that we can to help them.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree. And Funny Turo says, hopefully BioFi NFTs are not sold out before your video comes out. Yeah, that I hope not. That would be good.
Probably not, because I think they have a base return of 30%, right? Is that
Well,
accurate?
it depends on how many phones we sell. So I went on the conservative end. So Brian is very well, and we'll talk about. I'm gonna do a full AMA with Brian next week, and we'll talk about this. He thinks we're gonna sell like millions and millions of phones, which I hope we do. I don't know. I've never sold a phone. I've never launched and sold a phone before in Africa. So I really have no idea. I'm putting on like a very conservative 65,000 phones. So again, Brian is saying like millions and millions. I'm saying, okay, conservatively 65,000. We set this NFT up. So if we do the conservative 65,000, that would be a 30% APR. If we're able to do a million, that would be 1,000% APR. So you'll get 10,000 for your $500 NFT. So if Brian's right, and we're going to talk about this in the AMA next week, but if Brian's right, you'll make a lot of money from these NFTs. I'm more conservative just because I don't know, call me pessimistic or something, but I just like to under promise, over deliver is what I'm after. But we'll do a full AMA next week to talk about it.
Well, it does take a lot of money, right, to build these phones, right? Because, if you cannot buy them in the millions at once, right? You have the chips that go in them. They have, a gaming chip. They have, a bigger battery because of, was it load shedding in Africa? So there's a lot of really amazing pieces that go into the phone that makes it a little bit more expensive than your kind of just regular phone. So it's going to be about like $200 US in Africa. They can use the cool thing about this is though, once the CE testing, they have the report, they can actually use that report to go into other countries. They can go into Southeast Asia, India, they can go into the Middle East. And so that really does help them get into those places. They're also working on a 5G version. They've just renewed the contract with Verizon. So you're probably going to see a 5G version sometime in 2024. I'd imagine it's going to be towards like the mid to like late 2024 realistically. But if we can be successful and the phone, is a success and more people get into crypto, that it could get exciting. But it's always good to have a more stricter view of what's possible, right? Because we do have to produce them, we do have to sell them, and then reproduce them. So $2 million is basically 20,000 phones, right? And so
Yep.
It's going to take some time to build all those out. And so
Right.
what's the time frame on that, James? Do you know?
The time frame on when? Sorry, say that one more time.
The time frame on the money back.
Yeah, so I think we're looking at, what did Brian say? 12 months
12
is
months.
when we're gonna. So how many phones are able to sell in that first year? And really, just so everybody understands, again, we'll do a full video next week, but this first batch we need to raise funds for, but then the sales of these first batch should pay for all future batches. So it's not like we need to come to a raise every single time we're doing a batch. It's just for the initial ones, before they sell, we have to produce them and it takes money. But then the sales of those phones should fund everything else going forward. So this should be the one NFT raise. And that's why we're able to give such good terms on these NFTs, is because like, hey, you're making this initial phone launch able to happen. You're part of it with us, and so that's why I'm able to give good returns on that. But more details to come on that. I don't remember what Brian told me to announce or not announce, so that's why I just private DM'd Sensei some things, but I can't remember what I'm supposed to say or not. So that's why I need to do AMAs, is because
I'm constantly talking to him in the background. So like we have like an hour-long conversation like almost every other day, because there's just so much stuff going on that I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm working on in the background that nobody knows about, with partnerships that I'm trying to bring into the ecosystem, because that'll bring in more money, we can produce more phones and get that going. So I wanted to, before we kind of ended, I wanted to talk with you. I know you're having Storage Chain on next week, and I'm very excited about that project. Did you want to talk a little bit about them really quickly?
Yeah, that'd be great. So on Monday, I am having Storage Chain on for an AMA. Let me just grab the time here real quick. It's 3 p.m. Central Time. So it's early in the morning for Hawaii, probably. You guys are 6 hours behind, is that right?
It's like 1 a.m. for Hawaii time.
Yeah, right.
It's 5 hours difference right now. But if you're talking to Chris is, I think Chris is the CEO. Really amazing guy. He's actually spent hours with me helping set my nodes up. Like he's an all-star. He's very well spoken. He's one. I think he wrote the white paper too. And he's really awesome to talk with. You're gonna really like everything he has. If you like decentralized infrastructure projects, decentralized storage, this is really cool, right? And you can run nodes. They call them node lords. Personally, I'm running about 20 terabytes of node storage right now for the network. The network's at about 130 terabytes. So technically right now I'm running like 1/7 of the whole capacity of the network right now. And I think they have a lot of, they've already built their technology. They spent the last 11 months doing that. And they're just now getting to market, which is really cool. It's really exciting. And you can earn 20% back a month by operating and having collateral. You buy the wrap store token, you move it to store, and then you provide liquidity on these nodes and you get paid for them. And so I had an AMA. I asked all those tough questions. What happens when the demand is not quite there and you have a lot of people selling? It's really early right now, which is great. I think the project's market cap is like 200K. And if you look at projects like Filecoin, which is like 2 billion, Arweave, which is 500 million. I mean, even if they're remotely successful, 5 million, 10 million, $20 million market cap, those nodes could explode very, very quickly. And that is where I've made the most money in the crypto space, is with nodes. And so I take gambles, and I don't know, I wouldn't call it a long shot, but I think this project can be very successful. I'm very, very excited about Storage Chain.
Yes, I'm excited to hear from them. Maybe I'll join you in some nodes there. All right, let's get some few last questions. Hit like. Let me know in the comments who would like me to have Robert back on more often, because every time we're here, I can only go like an hour because I just get tired and ADHD and all these different things. But we always want to go longer than an hour. We always have more questions than we can get through. Okay, few last things I definitely want to talk about. First off, any welcome bonus for the JP community? No, but welcome. Are you talking about for Crypton Aires, or are you just talking about for joining the JP community? You get a big like welcome, which is worth it. Somebody said you get a prayer, which is true. I definitely pray for my audience. So, but welcome, Larry. It's really good to have you for sure. Any updates on DAG on your side?
I think well, you see they kind of replaced Wyatt. I think Wyatt kind of maybe ran into a wall, and they brought in somebody new, and it looks like they're making a lot of headways. I think Constellation is gearing up to do a monster move. They're working on a lot of military contracts and things like that. I've been talking a lot about them in Sensei chats lately. I would be kind of just paying attention to what's happening. I know they're working on some new partnerships. Yeah, about 3.3 cents. They've had a nice little climb out here. But I mean, shoot, I remember buying into Constellation when it was like 16, 17 cents, and there was a lot of promises made. So I'm very reluctant to kind of get back into Constellation until, they can really start delivering on mainnet and things like that. So, we'll have to see, right? I know they've been working very hard. I know there's a lot of things happening in the background, but I'm still waiting for them to, get everything going.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. I agree with all that. There was a little bit of drama when Wyatt with all that stuff, but it seems like they've gotten through that. Seems like they're on the right track now. So I feel better about them than I did maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. So I still really believe in DAG. They still, government contracts they're working on that could be huge. So I'm still excited about DAG. Still like that ecosystem quite a bit. Okay, here's a great question. I want to see what you have to think about, what you have to say about this and think about this. We always hear only invest what you can afford to lose. So how can you make life-changing income in this space when you can't really invest much? That's a good question, Richie. That's a real problem. What do you say,
Richie, Rob? It depends on what your tolerance is for loss. Okay. I am a person where I'll gamble the farm, and I'll live, in what's it called. I threw everything I could at the 2021 market, and I made a ton of money, and I've lived on that money. I've used that money to do a lot of great things in my life and help people and do different stuff. And now I'm like all in again. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask as far as maybe that question. I'm all in crypto, and I think there's no better market to be in. Obviously, there's a lot of scams, and people lose a lot of money in scams, and so having a good team and a good community and good people to bounce ideas off of is very important in this space. Having a community like James's community, my community, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm all in. I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question, because I think there's going to be just stupid money to be made over the next 2 to 3 years. And if you're not in it and you don't know what you're doing, you need to figure it out quick, because this is going to pass you by, and you're going to be that person that's pissed off in the bar. You're drinking, you got no money in your pocket, and you're like, why didn't I listen to James Pelton, 3 years ago? And you have to do it yourself, right? People, you have to accept responsibility. You have to sit down and you have to just spend time and sharpening your skills right now, because there's going to be opportunity that is going to be flying at you. But if you don't know how to catch it and identify it, it's going to pass you by.
Yep, totally agree. And maybe one way you could think about it is, I do always say don't risk more than you can afford to lose. But maybe you can think of it as like, so you have the safer stuff and then you have the riskier stuff going this way. And so depending on how important the money you're investing is to you, because Robert, I think you're probably in a similar, like the money I put into crypto is not money I'm like using to live on. It's like, this is extra money that if I did lose everything in crypto, I mean, I'd be very bummed. My net worth would be way down. But it's like I still would have food. I'd still be able to pay my mortgage. I'd still, be able to eat and things like that. So I'm not putting like my living money into Gala games. I mean, that's not something I would recommend doing. So you kind of, as you have money that you need to live on, you have to put that in safer places. Maybe even like a savings account. Okay, at some point, you like, okay, I've got a month of living in my savings account. Then I've got extra money. Okay, I can go put that in the stock market. Okay, I've got extra money. I can put that in Bitcoin. Okay, I've got extra money. Now that I can put in Gala games. And that's kind of how I would approach it is, and that's one thing that I do in my community is I've been stressing a lot, like side hustles and ways to just make more money so that you can have more money to go put into different things. If you have an extra $500 a month, it's like, well, $500 a month, if you put $2,000 into BioFi, and at 1,000x's, that's life-changing money from, from just some side hustle money that you put in. So, but it is really a challenge. One thing I'll say, Richie, is don't give in to FOMO. Don't look at everybody making these huge gains on all these different crypto projects. You're going to see it a lot as the bull market comes into play. You're going to see people posting, look, I made 7,000% on Pepe or whatever. Don't let that bum you out and be like, I missed it. I got to get into Pepe now. And don't let the FOMO control you. That's happened to me before, where you feel like you got to get into every opportunity. Don't feel that. If you're in Crypton Aires, there's no way you're going to have enough money to get into everything that they talk about in Crypton Aires. So you're going to have to pick a few that you really believe in. Like, okay, I've looked into this one. Robert talked about it. James talked about it. Your friend Andy talked about it. And I like it. I like the team. You're going to pick a few of those. So that's just some tips I'd give you.
Great tips, man. And well said. Everything you said. And if you're new to the crypto space, stay away from leverage, because that'll get you wrecked.
Yep. And I tell people, I have a lot of people. I just got lunch with someone today who they said they have no crypto knowledge. They said, hey, I hear crypto's coming back. I want to get in. I told him, you might not like this, but I told him just buy Bitcoin. Okay. Research and buy some Bitcoin. Don't do anything else. You can get it on Robinhood, I think. Don't go on CoinMarketCap. Don't create a Binance account yet. Research a little bit first. Then you might have some more ideas after that. All right. Two last questions. Neoxa. Your friend Andy talks a lot about Neoxa. Robert, are you very familiar with Neoxa?
Never heard of Neoxa, brother.
Okay. So it's a smaller one, proof of work. Andy loves proof of work because he loves buying miners. So I believe that he has some Neoxa miners. I don't know much about it. I know that it's they're a blockchain kind of focused on play to earn is kind of what they're focused in gaming and things like that. It's hard for me to tell which chains are going to do well and which are not. It's all about who ends up using them. That's going to dictate how well any of these do. So it's just hard to tell. Like, I thought Kadena was going to be a big winner, and it might end up being, but it hasn't been up to this point. Kaspa, a new one, came in and dethroned Kadena. So Neoxa's, probably an okay one, but you just don't know. So, and then how much for the phone? We'll end with this. Yeah, the BioFi phone is going to start at $200 in Africa. It'll probably be more when it gets to the US.
5G.
Yeah, because it'll be 5G. That 5G chip alone, people don't realize, is hundreds of dollars. Like just that one chip is hundreds of dollars. So if you can do a 4G phone, it can be pretty cheap. If you do 5G, it's got to be, $500, $600, $700. But we do have I think we have an actual contract with Verizon that when we're ready to sell in the US, they're wanting to sell it. So that's pretty cool. So
that was just renewed too. Very recently.
Yep. Absolutely. So that's pretty cool. If you have Verizon on your team in the US, you're probably going to be able to sell some phones. So I'm excited about that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up. We will have Crypto Sensei back. I love these. These are great. I think we should do these once a month. I think just talk through the market, see what's going on. I'm going to end with a couple calls to action. Main one is hit the like button. Can you guys do that for me, please? Hit the like button. Really appreciate that. Pocket knows. Look at that. Poxa. You guys don't forget that like button on the way out. Yes, absolutely. And if you want to hear more from Robert about what coins he's looking at, what's going on in gaming crypto, what's going on in AI crypto, again, this is supplemental to what I do. I rarely am looking through the news or looking into specific projects for hours at a time. Like that's not really what I do. So if you want to get into Crypton Aires, hear this from Crypto Sensei all the time, then here's the link to do that. I'll post it again in the comments. It's also in the description, but would be awesome to have you guys in there.
And it's 7 days free right now. So come in, take a look around, see what we talk about, see what we post. If you hate it, you can leave before the 7 days and you don't get charged. But I guarantee if you actually come in there, you start talking with our community, you start looking at the information that's in there, you're probably going to get hooked pretty quick. We have a fantastic group of people there and everyone's just trying to help each other out. So it's great place to learn, great place to grow.
Yep, absolutely. So actually, I'm going to request everybody watching, I'm going to request you go do the 7-day trial. Okay. Free things. I don't have any problems requesting you to do something that's free. So I'm going to request just go do the 7-day trial, look through what they have, look through the info that they've given, the calls that they've made, those types of things. There's a lot of great info in there. Everybody go do that. And if you don't want to do the $50 a month, that's fine. But everybody go do the free trial at least. So thank you for doing that. Audience, you guys are amazing. Hope you have a great weekend. Appreciate you guys more than you know. I get I'm sure Robert does too, but we get a lot of hate from different places for different things. And I so appreciate you guys that are here each and every day and just watching what I say. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. And Robert, appreciate you. Appreciate your knowledge. Appreciate your willingness to share knowledge and look forward to hearing again from you next time.
It's an honor, brother. Thank you for the invite and thank you to the audience. And appreciate your time. And hey, welcome to the bull run in 2024. We're all going to make some money. We're all going to have some fun.
Awesome. Sounds great. God bless you all, guys. Have a great